I just got back from the Mid-Atlantic Rally of the Rover Owners Association of Virginia. My first time attending, but the group has been together since 1975, and I just joined this group. And everyone gets together for this event each year at this time of year, and it's held at a private farm in southwest Virginia, but it's really hundreds of acres with trails and great camping opportunities. So you see brand new vehicles, but you also see a lot of vintage vehicles as well. This one is called the Oxford Rover. It's a 1955 model. It took part in what's called the Far East expedition from London to Singapore. So it was kind of a VIP that was traveling through the country and being shown off. So the big event was going on trail rides. So people that wanted to go would get together, and we'd divide up into groups, and we would, quote, head up the mountain. So like I said, a large area was available to us. So we would get together, and I picked a group that was less aggressive because I don't have a lot of experience with off-roading. The last time I off-roaded was in college, and so that's been a while. And but I wanted to go through the paces, so I joined this one group, the less aggressive of the two, and we headed up the mountain. So all of this is in four-wheel drive, of course, four-wheel low, and there were some tricky spots. You can't always tell by the camera, but it's climbing. It's climbing the mountain, so it's steep in spots, not very wet at this time. It could have been, but it wasn't. And so you're just threading the needle through trees, and there are a lot of rocks and soft dirt and ruts, and so it really does challenge your equipment and also your ability to read the trail and to know where to put the vehicle. Even though it looks like I'm kind of alone here, if you look way up ahead, there are other vehicles up there. So we're traveling as a group, and we have somebody that's kind of leading, and we're all able to talk to each other with two-way radios to make sure that if anybody breaks down or gets stuck or gets hung up on a tree or something, that everybody else will come to their rescue. So yeah, it was very interesting, very slow going here. It's only probably a few miles per hour, but that's the whole idea. It was a beautiful weekend, and the event was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was just there for 2 days. But really nice weather. It rained 3 or 4 days ago, but things were not too dry, not too wet. And it was a lot of fun to test what little experience I had. I'm certainly a lot more experienced now than I was when I showed up at the event. So it was a good lesson for me. You see rocks and roots and just really every type of terrain. Sometimes you pull up on something and you're thinking, there's no way, but it just works. It works out if you've got the right ground clearance and the right tires, and of course all the tricks of limited slip differentials and locking differentials, things like that. You can see at this point, you can see that vehicle ahead of me. Those are a couple of guys out of Wintergreen area up in the Shenandoah Valley, and they nice people. So we would stop once in a while and just take a break and stretch your legs and talk, and so that was the trail we came up. You can hardly tell by looking at it that it's actually, some of those places you can almost not tell that it's actually a trail. Other places look more like a road, but I think saying it's a road is probably too generous. Look how narrow some of these passes are. It was really a matter of inches. You would rub your left and right tires on these trees as you go through. Very tricky. There's some water right there, and but no one in my group had any problems. There were a couple of places where it was hard to get up a hill. There's some video coming up where just about everybody I saw had multiple attempts to get up a hill, and so did I. But it all worked out. So I'm not aware of any problems. I can't see everybody ahead of me, but I can see a few. So this is the hill. I'm about to make a right turn, and as I go up, I try to go up this hill. It's a lot steeper than it looks. I'm spinning all 4 tires. So you can see people that have made it up. They're up there at the top. So I back down and I try it again with no changes. I just try again, and again, spinning tires. The earth is just too loose and it's too soft. So I turn on my air lockers, which lock the front and rear differentials so they turn as one, and there's no left or right bias. And so that made the difference. By turning on my air lockers, I was still spinning some, but I was able to get up the hill. So that was nice because there were people behind me waiting for me, so I really felt the pressure to complete the task. More wheel spin here, trying to get up this. Again, you can't really tell how steep it is, but it's steep enough that with mud tires, very deep aggressive tread, and 4-wheel drive, it's still not possible without a little bit of wheel spin. Beautiful area. This was Giles County, which is west of Virginia Tech. It's in the on 460 as you go toward Bluefield. And if you continue on these trails, I didn't go all the way, but if you continue, it gets all the way to West Virginia. This was the guy that was behind me, a really cool looking I think it's a 95 Defender, and I just really like the way he has configured this thing and made it his own. Really pretty cool.
Oh, really? I was gonna say, I've only seen one.
So like I said, the weather was good for us, but it's not always good. These are some pictures from previous events where it was wet, and that wasn't our situation, but it could have been. So it was a great trip, really had fun. I expect I'll go every year. So I went alone this time, but next year I'm sure I'll pair up with somebody, and maybe Ruth, maybe somebody else. And now that I know what it's all about, great trip.